Hello Year 1 and happy Friday. So first of all, I'd like you to start with your retrieval, so just your recap of learning of things that you should already know. So can you name any 2D and 3D shapes from your learning last week? What are the shapes and what are their properties? And I've put a little image up there to support you with some of the shapes on there, so if you can recognise as many as you can of those. Okay, so the next activity I'd like you to do is we are looking at today's date. So what day is it today? What day was it yesterday? And what day will it be tomorrow? Remember, pause throughout if you need time to think or to share or write anything down. So moving on to our learning for today. So we are learning to represent the time to half past the hour. So we're representing the time to half past the hour. So I'll put a little clock in there in the corner for you to look at to show you what that looks like. So how can we be successful today with this? So first of all, by representing, it just means to show. Can you show me the time to half past the hour? Okay, to represent is to show. And then half past the hour, so we need to know what that is, what that looks like, which you should have an idea of from yesterday. So key vocabulary again, it's the same through the week. So we've got clock hand, hour hand, minute hand, o'clock and half past. So again, just reusing that key vocabulary, that key language. So can you have a look at an analog clock? So one that looks like that in the corner, something like this, or you might have one at home that you can look at, whether it's a watch that you have on your wrist or something like that. But remember, it needs to be analog, so not digital. What do you already know about a clock, and what can you remember from this week? So you might want to think about o'clock and half past. So my next question, do you know what half past the hour is or what that means? So it's just a bit of a recap from yesterday's learning to support you with remembering. So half past the hour is when the minute hand of a clock is pointing at the 6. This means that the minute hand has completed half a turn, or half an hour since the last hour. So it's 30 minutes have passed. So we spoke about it being a circle with a whole or a whole turn. So with a clock, that when it goes to the 6, from the 12 to the 6, that is a half turn. Okay, so it's half past the hour, or 30 minutes, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So what does half past the hour look like on a clock? So as we spoke a minute ago, that you can see the one on the screen there is showing you 1:30. Okay, so the our hand is between the 1 and the 2 because it's 1:30. So on its way to 2 o'clock. And then the minute hand is the bigger hand, the blue hand is on the 6 and it always stays there. Okay, so for half past, the minute hand is always on the 6. And then the only thing that changes, is the hour. So this is 1:30, like the one on the screens. Oops, sorry about that. And then this one, 2:30, as you can see, that the hour hand goes between the 2 and the 3 as the hands move around the clock. Okay. So again, this is just a recap. So time to look at half past or half past the hour on a big clock. What is it? What do you do at this time? So I'll flash up some on the screen for you to look at, and I've also got my clock here to show you as well. So can you tell the time to half past the hour? So recapping from yesterday's learning. So what time is this? What time is it? Okay, so it's 9:30. Well done if you got that correct. What time is this? Again, pause if you need time to think. So this is 4:30. And again, well done if you got that correct. 2:30. Again, thumbs up if you got that one correct. It's quite tricky telling half past the hour. This one is 6:30. Sorry, 5:30. See, it's tricky. This one is 8:30. 12:30. 10:30. 3:30. 11:30. Okay, so there's a recap. Well done if you got some of those correct. And again, it's quite tricky telling half past. Looking at those hands, I know it can be very tricky because they're not exactly on the number like they are for o'clock. Okay, so some activities for you today for your learning. Okay, you can do as many of these as you like, all of them, or just choose one. It's completely up to you. Do as much as you would like. So there's a worksheet that looks just like this. Okay, and you can access that. I'll attach that to the Sway and also onto the website. So what's the time? And what you need to do is draw the hands onto the clocks because they're blank. So they've got the times there. You just need to add on the hands of the clock. So remember what's really important, okay, is when we are telling the time, half past the hour, that your minute hand needs to always be bigger, needs to be longer, okay? So your minute hand is always longer. And if you want to use 2 different colours, just like on my clock here, then you can, if that makes it easier for you to see. And then your hour hand is the smaller hand. You need to make that clear, otherwise your time, you might not know exactly what your time is. So remember, minute hand is your longer hand and your hour hand is your shorter hand. Remember, you can use different colours to help you with that. Okay, so here you can see as well, for 3:30, the hour hand is not pointing exactly on the 3. So when you draw your hands on, just be careful, okay, because it will be between the hour that it is and it's past and the hour it's going to be. So this one is 3:30, so it's halfway past the number 3 on the way to number 4, because as the hands move, as that minute hand moves round, when it gets to the top to 4 o'clock, it has to move, it moves round the hour hand to reach the 4. So that's why it's exactly on the 4 there. But when it goes to 4:30, you see the hour hand moves between the 4 and the 5, halfway between the 4 and the 5. I know it's very, very tricky. So you can also access this activity if you like, so you can create your own clock. You can try the digital if you would like, but we're focusing on analog. So we've got these 3 clocks there, a bit like an alarm clock there. So you can use any of those 3 and draw on your hands or create your own. So this one here, if I move myself out of the way there, you've got the arrows you can cut out and add on if you wanted to, so you can move them around and use a split pin. Remember, these aren't things that you have to do, they are choices, so you can choose what to do. And enjoy. Finally, we'll just go through some of your challenges. So remember, you can share any of this learning with your teachers. If you email them through this, just put your child's name in the subject, just first name, and then if you add on the child's class, so owls or woodpeckers, so we can respond. And then you fly high challenges. So can you talk about or write down what you do at these times at 1:30? Can you describe the hands on the clock? So if it's 1:30, the hour hand is between the 1 and the 2. So remember when we spoke about that before. The hour hand is halfway between the 1 and the 2, and the minute hand is on the 6. Okay, can you verbalise that? Can you talk about that or write that down? And can you write your own time and represent it on a blank clock? You can draw that or use the blank clocks that I've provided in the resources. And there are some additional fly high challenge questions for you if you want to try these. So here, Peter is eating his lunch at 12:30. Jane is eating her lunch half an hour later. Tick the clock, which is showing when Jane eats her lunch. So that's one of your challenges if you want to fly high today. And there's also another question here. Again, I'll just move myself over. There we go. So Sarah explained to the class that she woke up for school at 6 o'clock. Her friend said, I'm confused because I have my tea at that time. Why is Sarah's friend confused? And then if you can write your answer or explain your reasoning for that question, and an adult can always write that down or you can tell them. Okay, so last of all, there's just a little recap, round it up for your plenary. So what is 1:30? And what does it look like? So which hands go where? Because what we're going to do is represent the time to 1:30 the hour. So which hands go where? And what is 1:30? So discussing what the hands are, where they go. Okay? Thank you for joining me for learning.